Johnny Murray here, and welcome back to another video. Today, we're finally going to be talking about the Xbox Game Showcase 2025. I wanted to make all these videos a lot sooner, but I've just been super caught up in doing a bunch of things. But don't worry, and trust me when I say this, we have a slew. We have a absolute tidal wave of content coming out. I have about over 10 games I'm going to be breaking down individually. I have multiple videos covering all the events. I have a video looking into 2026. I have a lot of videos planned, as well as over on the Player Way channel. We're going to have a lot of things going on as well there. We're trying to get back in the swing of things, get in the groove. There's just been a lot going on, but don't worry. We're going to get locked back in, and there's going to be some awesome content talking about video games. Doesn't matter what you love, Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo, third-party, PC, VR, indie, whatever it may be. Consider subscribing, share with your friends. If you love video games, this is the place to be. We talk about video games daily, and well, it's an exciting time. It's a very exciting time. If you guys aren't aware, last week was the whole E3 summer season of gaming, the hype of summer, right? Where we're getting State of Play, we're getting Summer Games Fest, and we're getting the Xbox Game Showcase. All of those have now happened, and so for the most part, all of the big announcements have been made, and it was absolutely incredible. It was so fun. I enjoyed every second of it, really, and I enjoyed it every year. But the one that I always am most excited for, and honestly, the one that's always the best, no debate, and that is the Xbox Game Showcase. That's the one we're going to be talking about this episode. I'm going to be giving you my review on it, my recap, go over all the ones that I personally found the most exciting, and we're going to talk about it. But just overall, I'm just going to give you my thoughts, and my thoughts off rip. I thought this was a really great show. I thought this was full of wonderful surprises. This was full of wonderful looking games. This was full of things that I wanted to see, things I didn't know I wanted to see, and things I didn't even know were possible. And that's really all you want from a showcase. When you go into a showcase, especially like this, right? You want to leave being very interested and excited for a lot of things. And ultimately, that's how it was with the Xbox Game Showcase. Now, I'm not going to lie. I did think it would be better. And I do think that there are a lot of things that I was pretty disappointed with this showcase. Whether it is some absences that I thought should 100% be there, or whether it was just the structure of the event. I'm going to just go ahead and say it right now. Don't get it wrong. I thought the trailer looked fantastic, and I'm going to play it, and I'm looking forward to it to a certain degree, but you cannot close a showcase with Call of Duty. You cannot close your biggest event every year with an annual release. That is just really unexciting. I get it. Call of Duty is your most important franchise. It's your biggest franchise at this point, but that is just not the show closer. For me, that was definitely a big step back, as well as unfortunately, this is also coming off of last year. Xbox had, in my opinion, the best showcase ever, and it was absolutely immaculate. 10 out of 10 showcase. It was everything I wanted, everything that I didn't even know it could be. And so this year, it definitely, we're taking it to a really high standard, right? But there was definitely a few periods of the showcase where I'm like, all right, let's bring it back. Come on, let's get a banger here. There was a moment where it was back to back, 3 or 4 just anime, Solo Level Rising, Animo, just some really games that I personally did not find interesting at all. So for me, that was definitely a step back. Overall, this is still a great showcase. This is still my favorite showcase of the week, easily. Really, no contest. And there were tons of great games to talk about. Personally, if I had to do a Johnny Murray review, I would probably give it an 8.5. I thought it was really great. There were tons of absences. All the games that are coming out in 2026, which we're gonna talk about, I think should have been here. We should have saw a lot of those games. And yeah, there was also it lacked a lot of major third-party announcements. Ubisoft wasn't here, EA wasn't here, Capcom wasn't here, Square Enix was here, but only with a port. It just, to me, it felt a little bit lacking in certain departments, but don't get it twisted. There are banger among banger of games, and we're going to talk about all of that. But I will see, the way I do my most anticipated games on I have a topsters right here. I have like tiers. Like, these are the games that I'm absolutely most excited for, like, would honestly debate buying a collector's edition, right? And I have a ton of those. But then I go, like, down a tier to the ones where I'm like, I'm interested, I'll probably play it, but I'm not, like, completely sold on it, right? I will say a lot of the games I did see here are more on the bottom half, which I'm not saying I'm not excited for it. I'm absolutely excited for it, but were there some that I was, like, jumping out of my seat, like, absolutely drooling in the mouth for? There wasn't a ton of those. There were a few, and we're definitely going to talk about that. But let's go ahead and let's just get started. That was kind of my just review of the event. Absolutely awesome event, nonetheless, even all the critiques aside. And I have rewatched this event like 3 times, just so you know. I've rewatched every trailer. I rewatch every event about 3 times just to get a true feeling for how I feel about some of these games and about the event. Did it with State of Play and Summer Games Fest. Review on those coming like pretty much probably the same day. I'm probably going to drop all 3 of these in the same day. The first one we're going to talk about is they started out with our Outer Worlds 2. Now, this was obviously the direct after the event. And here's what I'll say about Outer Worlds 2 is I wasn't the most hyped for this game until I saw the trailer at the Game Awards last year. And I was like, oh, okay, this actually looks really good. This actually looks really good, and I personally really enjoyed my time with Avowed. And I was like, all right, you know what? I'm so down for another Obsidian game. I think this one looks even better than Avowed. Honestly, I'm down. But then what happened? Last month, I went back and I started replaying the Outer Worlds 1. And replaying that really gave myself a whole new love and appreciation for what the Outer Worlds is. And therefore, now seeing the Outer Worlds 2 in all its glory with the direct and everything, I do think this game looks really, really good. I do think this game has a lot of potential. And, I mean, it should. Outer Worlds 1 is loved by so many people, and so the sequel looks bigger and better in every way, as they keep saying in all the trailers, bigger and better in every way. And I will say, the humor, they're just hitting it. The humor was very good, especially during the direct. Ben Schwartz did a great job with that. I don't think people are talking enough about that. But yeah, the Outer Worlds 2 really is one that is super high on my list, because I just think this game looks really great. I think this game has a lot of promise and a lot of opportunity to honestly be a... I'm not going to say it's going to be, like, Game of the Year, but it's going to be up there. Like, I think this is, like, going to be another Indiana Jones, where it's going to be almost universally loved, and it's just going to be so great. And that's all I want this game to be. You know, I'm not asking for Obsidian's best RPG ever, because that's going to be really hard to do. I'm not asking for the best Xbox game of the generation, because that's going to be really hard to do. So for me, I just want this to be another great release for Xbox, and I think that's exactly what Outer Worlds 2 is shaping up to be, and I couldn't be happier for it. The next game, I'm not going to do things in order, because I just don't have the order whatsoever. Call of Duty Black Ops 7. Now, like I said, I'm looking forward to it. Even though I say I'm not really the biggest Call of Duty fan, I play it every year, so kind of like a hypocrite in that sense. They get me every time. But now that it's in Game Pass, I even have a worse chance of not playing it. So, but here's what I'll say about Call of Duty. Number one, it should not have been the closer. Absolutely not. Should not have been the closer. But the trailer that they showed, low-key had me questioning, Call of Duty can look like this? Like, what are they cooking with this Call of Duty? Because it was genuinely, up until we found out it was Call of Duty, I was like, yo, this looks insane. And just because it's Call of Duty, I am not going to discredit everything that we just saw. What we just saw looked phenomenal. Granted, it's completely CG and it's just a trailer, but the things that we were seeing, I'm like, whoa, the atmosphere, the vibe, the world that they're showing looks really, really cool. And the campaign last year for Black Ops 6 was really, really good. So for me, I have to say, as far as Call of Duty goes, this is probably one of the more exciting announcements I've ever seen from it, because I was genuinely kind of blown away by what I was seeing in the trailer. That being said, it is Call of Duty at the same day, so I only have a certain amount of excitement for it. But it is a Black Ops, which are the ones I've always looked the most forward to. We're going to get zombies, we're going to get campaign, we're going to get multiplayer, and I'm sure I'm going to enjoy all of that. The question is, how much will it stick, and how good will it actually be? So, but Black Ops 7, yeah, exciting, and it should be coming out this year, so that's just another Xbox banger coming out this year, so gotta give them props for that. The next one, Ninja Gaiden 4. Yes, everything we are seeing about this game is exactly what I envisioned for a modern Ninja Gaiden game, and honestly is looking to be even more, because now we have Platinum Games behind it, and I don't know whose idea it was to bring Platinum Games in, but they deserve to be the head of video games ever, just ever. Like they cooked, and everything we see about this game just screams, let me play it right now. And there were people who actually got to demo the game and preview the game at Summer Games Fest, and we're hearing great things about it. They're saying that it is easily one of the most fun Ninja Gaiden games ever. And honestly, if you're bringing in Platinum Games, and it looks, and we're not talking Babylon's Fall Platinum Games, we're not talking sometimes really weird Platinum Games, we're talking hack and slash action game Platinum Games mixed with Team Ninja, Koei Tecmo, published by Xbox. What more could you ask for? Ninja Gaiden is back. Ninja Gaiden 4 looks fantastic. Releasing this October. I think October 21st, I do believe, is the release date. By the way, Outer Worlds 2, October 29th. And then Black Ops 7, obviously, coming out this year. But Ninja Gaiden 4 is definitely, while it's not one of my favorites of the show, that's because I was already to the max excited for it before the showcase, right? It is currently, like, I think my 8th most anticipated game, but if you hear the ones before that, you're like, oh well, okay, so it's really just really up there. But yeah, it is absolutely one of my most anticipated games right now, and for good reason. It looks incredible. The next one, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3+4, looks great. Cool that we're getting some more crossovers. I'm gonna be playing it, but I wouldn't say I'm like super duper excited for it. I've just never really been a big Tony Hawk person. I was more of the skate kid growing up, so but I'll be giving it a try, and it looks great for those who love Tony Hawk. This is definitely gonna be a banger for you. Grounded 2. This was one of the big surprises for me. This is a game where I felt like I was alone leading up to the hype of Grounded 1. I saw it and I was like, yo, I think this could be really fun. I tried to get as many friends as I could to play it, and we had an absolute blast. So now seeing Grounded 2, it was kind of like, yo, we won, guys. We won. I was there day one, Grounded Early Access, and now it just feels so surreal that we're even at the point where we have a Grounded 2, and it looks really good. I'm not going to say it looks generations better, but to me, I love all the improvements and updates that they're adding to it, and so I'm ready. Releasing next month. This was a big surprise. This was one of the biggest surprises of the show for me, just because completely out of left field. Like, who would have guessed Obsidian would be dropping 3 games in 1 year, while some studios can't even drop 1 in 5 years? What are we doing? Obsidian is easily the GOAT of Xbox right now. Like, Playground Games, yes, they're incredible. But Obsidian, they have quality and quantity just down pat. They are unstoppable. They just know how to pump the games out, and I'm all for it. I'm here for it. Grounded 2, super duper excited. Gears of War Reloaded looks great. I unfortunately replayed the Ultimate Edition like last winter, so I'm kind of like already fresh off of replaying it, so I don't know if I will replay it again, even though it is really great. But honestly, seeing how good it looks, though, I was kind of like, maybe I do have to play it again, just because I love Gears of War so much. It's one of my favorite franchises. It is my favorite Xbox franchise, so I might just have to do it. But nonetheless, I will be hopping into that multiplayer, because I never played the multiplayer, so that is something I never experienced. So the fact that that's coming back, awesome. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is getting its first DLC, or I think maybe just its only DLC, The Order of Giants. Really cool. Didn't really see much of it, but it's Indiana Jones. The game is great. Anything to get me to go back and play that, I will be so down for. So I'm looking forward to that. And then we reach what to me is absolutely 100% not only, and this is gonna come off as you guys probably never expected this. This, to me, not only was my game of the show, this was my game of all of Summer Games Fest, of the State of Play, of Summer Games Fest, of the Xbox show. To me, this was the game that screamed, this will be one of my most anticipated games and one of my favorite games. And that was Clockwork Revolution. This game was firing on every single cylinder, so much so, I thought they were about to shadow drop the game. Like, honestly. Now, granted, I knew they weren't going to shadow drop the game because that would just be absolute insanity. But I was genuinely convinced at the end, I was like, are they going to release this like this year? This game looks ready. This game looks done. This game looks incredible. They showed a whole 5-minute trailer. They went through all the RPG mechanics, weapon customization, character creation, story, visuals. They went through everything, and it was a great trailer. Humor, heart, coolness, uniqueness, everything about it. inXile is about to put people on notice. inXile is the studio behind this game. They're about to put people on notice. I've been saying it for a long time. Granted, I've never played the game, so I'm kind of just going off of what I've heard. But they are absolutely amazing when it comes to writing and story. If you've played the Wasteland games, which granted I haven't, but from what I've heard, this is absolutely the case. If you have played the Wasteland games, their writing is really, really, really good. So, what happens when you take that studio and you give them a AAA budget and freedom to just make whatever they want, and you come out with this IP called Clockwork Revolution that looks absolutely insane? It looks like Fallout mixed with BioShock to a certain degree. They are cooking. They're cooking. I have a feeling this game is going to steal the show when it releases. I am so confident in this game, you have no idea. When you show a 5-minute trailer of a big RPG like this, and everything you see in that trailer is genuinely like impressive, right? It's not just, oh yeah, that looks great, oh yeah, that looks cool, but I was like, wow, I did not think it was gonna be this good. Everything in this trailer really stood out to me, and this has not only become one of my most anticipated games just ever, but I am so confident that this game is going to hit. I just can't wait. I absolutely can't wait. It is not very often I buy collector's editions for new IPs. This will be one of them if I have the chance. 100%. I am ready for Clockwork Revolution. High on Life 2 was a nice surprise. I personally enjoyed my time with the first game. I didn't love it. Just some of the combat and the story just really didn't resonate with me, but I loved the humor for the most part. But I absolutely loved the visuals and just what they were going for, to the point where I just enjoyed it. High on Life 2, though, I like to see all the different gameplay things that they're trying to add, maybe skateboarding, like flamethrowers, stuff like that. So I'll definitely be playing it. I'm looking forward to it, but you know, I don't know how much I'll love it. I don't know how great it'll be, but definitely a nice little surprise there at the start. The Blood of Dawnwalker was showed up. This is being published by Bandai Namco, developed by a brand new studio, led by some former CD Projekt Red developers. And I think this looks cool. You know, I definitely want to see more in this game, just to see what kind of RPG are we dealing with, what kind of open world are we dealing with. I will say I think the combat looks cool, even though I think the trailer looked a little rough. Frame rate and just the crispness of everything, definitely what was a little rough, and I definitely don't understand what the story's going for. But I do think it's a really cool premise with the vampire stuff. So for me, I'm definitely going to keep an eye on this one. It is on my top scores because I will play it, but I'm not completely sold on it yet. Next one is Keeper. Now, this is a really weird one. Now, Keeper is the brand new IP, brand new game by Double Fine. This, to me, is kind of the black horse of the whole event. What I mean by that is, this is one that I should be absolutely excited for, but when I see the trailer, this is one that I feel like I wouldn't be excited for, but I'm still excited for it. You know what I mean? Like, this is just such a weird, like, I really haven't grasped my emotion when it comes to this game. I've rewatched the trailer so many times, I can't tell if I'm excited, if I'm looking forward to it, if I'm not looking forward, if I think it's gonna be good, if I think it's gonna be bad. I really have no idea. I have no idea. What I will say is I'm really glad that this is coming out this year, because I don't have to wait for it. It's just gonna come out and hopefully it just slaps. Hopefully it slaps. And here's the thing. I think the concept is really just wild and out there, which it's coming from Double Fine, so I don't know why I expected anything less. You're basically playing as a lighthouse, and it's gonna be a puzzle game. Looks very linear as well. So it's just really weird, but the thing is, it's coming from Double Fine, and have they really ever missed? You know, and especially when it comes from Double Fine, the studio that is notoriously known for just being weird. And they show a trailer for a game that encapsulates the idea of being weird. It's hard not to be confident, and it's hard not to be excited, but when I look at it, it doesn't really, like, get me all hooked, and I'm like, I want to play this. I'm kind of like, all right, Double Fine's doing their thing. We'll see. You know, that's just kind of how I feel. But nonetheless, I'm glad we finally got to see their new game, and I am looking forward to trying it out this October. So look, October got a lot of dates during the show, I will say. The next game, this is my personal favorite surprise of the show, as well as my second favorite thing that they showed, and that is Resonance: A Plague Tale Legacy. First off, I never thought we'd even get another Plague Tale game because the way Requiem ended, I just thought, you know what, this is a great closing point. I didn't think about the idea. What if we got a prequel? Well, here it is. Resonance: A Plague Tale Legacy, a prequel to the first game, and I do believe this is going to be exploring the idea of how did the plague start, and I think that is really exciting, and I think really interesting. If you're gonna do another Plague Tale game, that is the direction to go, because you're gonna have to put in new characters, unless you just went Amicia solo, which I don't know, we'll see. You know, but I do think this is the right idea, and I think what we saw definitely hasn't like really explained to me exactly what this game is, but it's a Plague Tale. And I absolutely adore those first two games, both of which are in my top 50 of all time, so you already know I'm all over this, and it just made my heart so happy to see it. Unfortunately, it did leak the day before, so it wasn't as big of a surprise, but I did predict it like 3 weeks ago. I was like, I bet you Team Asobi might show up and just show the next game. If it's Plague Tale or just something else, here we are. So awesome. Now I'm going to kind of run through a couple real quick, just ones that are definitely on my radar that I put on my topsters, but I don't really have too much to say. Fate's End, or At Fate's End, is like kind of like a game, looks like Nineveh, but it almost has like a deck builder, but it's also like very like Metroidvania-esque. So that one looked really cool. Invincible Versus was a nice surprise. I'm a big fighting game fan, and Invincible is something I've always found myself interested in, so the fact that we're getting a video game, I'm in. I'm definitely looking forward to it. Beast of Reincarnation is a game by Game Freak, and yes, the Game Freak that makes the Pokemon games. I didn't even know this was possible. When we all saw Game Freak, we all literally were like, what? Like, how is this even possible? Like, are there rules? Like, did the rules just be broken? Like, we had no sense, but yes, I looked into it. Game Freak actually makes a lot of games that are outside of Pokemon. Pokemon is obviously the biggest franchise like almost ever, so it's really hard to like just be completely outshadowed by the biggest franchise ever. So Beast of Reincarnation does look really cool. I am very eager to see more of this, but the fact that it is coming from Game Freak, though, even though this is completely separate from Pokemon, do have a little bit of worry about performance mainly, but it does look really cool. Final Fantasy 16 and Final Fantasy 7 Remake Intergrade finally are on Xbox after all this time. Final Fantasy 16 Shadow dropped, and Remake Intergrade is coming, I think, around the same time the Switch version is dropping as well. So finally it's here, and that was a big surprise. Aphelion, or Aphelion, I don't know, Lion, I don't know. This was a very interesting one. This is also one that's on my radar, and it didn't click with me until I did a little bit of research. We were trying to figure out like, Don't Nod. Don't Nod is the studio making this game, and I was like, yo, okay, like, this is the Life is Strange studio, right? I was right. Everyone else were saying I was wrong. I was right. They did make some of the recent Life is Strange games, but more importantly, what I think is really going to make this game special, they were the developers behind Jusant. Jusant is a game all about climbing. You're basically just climbing, doing parkour, and there was a lot of that in this game. This game looks very similar to Jusant, but it's more of a 3D platformer at the same time. It's more of an action adventure game with more of a focus on story. I think this could be a big hit. I do think this is going to be one of those Game Pass inclusions that's just like, yo, I'm so glad this is Game Pass. This is really special in certain aspects. Really enjoy my time with it. Definitely keeping an eye on that one. Another big surprise for me was Planet of Lana 2. Now, I'm not like the biggest fan of Planet of Lana. To me, it's like an 8 out of 10 game. I really enjoyed myself. I did cry to it, so I guess that's something. I think the storytelling, the visuals, the music, all of that is great. I just never thought we'd get a second one. Like, it just didn't even cross my mind. I didn't even know we could. Like, I don't know. I'm so curious where they're going with the sequel, because I was like, really? We're doing a second one? How? Like, how does that work? So, I'm really curious to see where they go with that. But that was definitely a big surprise. Super Meat Boy 3D was also a big surprise. Never really played the Meat Boy games, but this one looked really, really cool, and I'm sure people who have, this is super duper exciting, and it looked really, really fun, so definitely looking forward to that. Then there were some that I just didn't really care about, but for me, I do want to talk about a couple more, one of them being Chronos The New Dawn. This game continues to look really, really good. Bloober Team, I have a feeling, is cooking with this one. And the other one, Mudang Two Hearts. This one is, from what I've gathered, might be the Expedition 33 of this show. Last year, Expedition 33 was revealed, and it was a game by a debut studio. It was a game that just looked so incredible that we kind of kept asking ourselves, is this real? Like, how is this even gonna run? Like, this kind of looks a little bit fake in a certain aspect. Like, we had so many doubts, so many concerns, but over time we started getting more and more faith, and it came out, and obviously right now it is absolutely the game of the year right now. But this one, it kind of is having the same effect. When, like, immediately after the show, I went on Twitter, and a lot of people were talking about Mudang. Like, Mudang definitely is the sleeper pick of this show. They didn't even do, like, a world premiere thing for it. They kind of went right into the trailer, which is really, it's the only trailer that they did that for. So I'm curious if they know something about this game that we don't, but it definitely looked really, really cool. And if it turns out as cool as it looked, all right, I'm here for it. But for me, another one of my favorite games of the show, Persona 4 Revival. This is obviously the remake of Persona 4. This is one I really, really wanted to see because I am personally not the biggest Atlus fan. I've played Persona 5 and really enjoyed it, but I've really yet to really like sink myself into another Atlus game just because I never seem to be in the mood for it, to be honest with you. But Persona 4 is one that I've always wanted to play because I just hear it has like the best story, and it's just the one that kind of speaks to me the most. So the fact that we're getting it is really awesome. But more importantly, the very little footage we got, I was like, yo, this actually looks really good. Like, the visuals kind of took me back. I was like, oh, this is Persona. Okay. All right, Atlus, I see what you're doing. So I'm very, very excited for that. But that is pretty much all the ones that I just wanted to talk about. The ones that I think were notable. There was like Sea of Thieves, Elder Scrolls Online, stuff like that. There was a game called There Are No Ghosts at the Grand. I have no idea what that game is, so I don't even know how to talk about it. Animo was not really interested. Solo Leveling, not really interested. Age of Mythology got DLC, ESO got its own update. So there were just a lot that I was like, whatever. But there were a lot that I'm excited for. There was a lot that I'm looking forward to. I think that look interesting. There was a couple that I'm definitely super duper excited for. But overall, I think this was a great show. And I'm really looking forward to what they have in store. But also, before we go, they did announce a couple more things. Number one, the Xbox ROG Ally. This thing looks really, really cool. I'm very curious to see more specifics about it, especially its price. But this is definitely something that I will probably end up getting. We'll see. I already have a ROG Ally, so we'll kind of see, like, maybe if I can sell that, trade towards whatever. But we'll see. I don't really use it all that often, so I don't know if I'm for sure going to buy it. But also, Phil did confirm that next year we are getting Fable, Gears of War, and Forza, which is crazy. The big three of Xbox all in 1 year. That's absolutely insane. And they return, or I don't know why I said big three. He also said, and the return of a classic franchise that's been with us since the very beginning. Everybody knows. Everybody and their mama knows. He's talking about Halo. We thought we were getting it this show. Turns out it's going to be next year. So there we go. The big three. Forza, Halo, Gears, as well as Fable. The big four, honestly, if you want it to in a certain way. Like, Fable was the Xbox RPG. But anyway, yeah, great show. Absolutely loved it. And then the direct afterwards was really great too. It just sold me even more in Outer Worlds 2, and Grounded 2 is looking great and fun too. So anyway, that's going to do it. Thank you all so much for watching. Let me know what were your favorite games of the show, and we'll be back talking about a bunch of these games individually as well as all the other shows, and I'll see you in the next one. Johnny Moore out.